Bass pedal boards. Do we need them anymore? Or do we just need an amp? Playing with effects pedals has become an essential part of being a touring bass player nowadays, because having the ability to dial in tones to match the recording is extremely important when playing live gigs. The issue with pedal boards for me sometimes is that I don't always want to carry them with me when I play live. But I recently discovered this bass amp from a company called Darkglass that could be the solution and possibly replace my pedal board when playing live gigs. So today, we're gonna be taking a look at this Darkglass Infinity 500 to see if it could actually replace my touring pedal board. I wanna give a huge thanks to Sweetwater and Darkglass for sponsoring today's video. Welcome to my backyard, and to make this review a little less boring, I came outside. Of course, as soon as I start recording, it'll start raining. But this is the Infinity 500. It's not waterproof. We'll just keep going until the rain gets heavy enough for me to go back inside. This is a 500 watt amp. This is the 210 combo cabinet. And if you are into having a lot of dope features that you actually will use, because I feel like a lot of these amps have a ton of features that you don't usually use and would never use, this amp has got some really dope ones. Now, starting to sprinkle a little bit more. I'll probably need to take this inside because this is too expensive to be out in the rain. Let's go back inside and do this the old-fashioned way. So after trying to do this review outside, you can see it started raining and I started realizing, hey, this amp is not cheap and I don't want to get it messed up. And we're just gonna take a few looks at like some of the aspects of this amp that make it really dope. It's a 500 watt combo amp. Like I said, combo amps are the future of amps. This is like an incredibly professional one that you can get that honestly, even if you're like someone who's an intermediate and you want something that's gonna last you in a professional sense, this is a great one for that. So this is the 210 cabinet version. There is a 112 cabinet version as well of the Infinity 500, but I like the 210s because I'm just so used to like 210s and 410s and 810s and that punchiness, so I just decided to go with this one. So we're gonna take a look at the back panel really quick. The back panel has got some really dope hardware things as far as the return and send effects loop on the back, and it also has a line in the back as well, so it acts as like an interface, which is really cool. This whole panel back here has a line out, of course, so if you want to send it out into anything. It's got a speak on out right here, or just like an external speaker that you can hook up to be powered by this amp as well if you have another cabinet that you want to power to get double the amount of power and sound. It also has a pre-DI out and a post-DI out. This is something I've never actually seen on an amp before, this like hardware like this. And basically you can go past all your effects and just go straight into the sound system if you want to without even going through any of the effects if you don't want them. And then you also just go pre-DI so you can get all the effects and the chain and everything that comes with it, which is something that I actually have never seen on a bass amp before, which is really dope. Now it has a USB slot right here and a MIDI slot. This USB is to help update your presets, which we'll go over later, which makes this like a pedal killer. And then also right here, it's got your power adapter right here and your power switch to turn it on. Now also what's really cool about this is that it's not that heavy. This amp cabinet probably, I can't remember the exact weight. I'll throw it up on the screen so you guys can check it out. It's not that heavy when it comes to just grabbing it, because this handle is like really a solid and kind of just sturdy handle. So whenever I'm taking it somewhere, or if I'm taking it to a gig or anything, it's really easy to just grab it and just go. And it's not like one of those things where it's like, this is so heavy. But it's also not the absolute lightest because it's a 210 cabinet. So it's not gonna be the lightest amp cabinet, but it's also not gonna be the heaviest. It's like at a pretty good medium range when it comes to that. All right, so now let's talk about the front panel of this amp. So you're just gonna turn it on with this switch back here. Not many lights come up. It's just like this one light right here showing you your presets. Pretty simple to use. You have your input, you have your output jack, which is for your headphones, different things like that. This is a preset knob. So if you press this, it's different presets. When all 5 of these lights are on like this, that just means that it's not going through any effects or anything. It's just going straight clean DI. But when you start going through some of the settings, which, let me unmute it. So now what I just did right there is that this, when you press this master knob right here, it mutes the signal so you can unplug different things like that. And also these lights right here become a tuner for your bass, and it goes for I think 6-string basses as well, like from 4 to 6 string, which is really dope. So you just click this. Now you see the colors change to all of the knobs, and now it's going to your presets. So you could save up to 5 presets on here that you could just go through, and all the settings and things in the chain is changing. And then when you go here, it's just like clean, and it's not going through anything but the DI. So here we have the input volume. So basically exactly what you think. It's just going to be adding volume in the input. Then you got your comp, which is your compression right here, drive knob, your tone knob, and then your level, and then your blend, which is really dope, blend knob for whatever you want to blend when it comes to effects, and also like your filter and everything right here. And then you have your preset volume, so you can turn up your preset if you want to. And then you have your EQ right here, so you can just it's kind of cool because you don't see these anymore that often, where your EQ is actually like, you could just actually push the knobs up and the sliders to adjust your EQ, which is a cool touch. And of course you have your master knob at the end for your overall volume. So pretty much all of these knobs here, and including the master knob, has a secondary function. So if you click all of these, they all have secondary functions. I can't remember all of the exact functions right now, but they're all in the digital manual. That's really, really dope. But the reason why I'm not worried about memorizing these is because we're going to adjust our presets on our computer, which we're gonna do next. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, a lot of professional amps aren't built with like some of those like cool at-home capabilities of like having like me and a Bluetooth speaker and all this kind of stuff. What's really cool is that this is a professional amp with Bluetooth capabilities, which is really dope, because this being as big as it is, playing songs straight from your phone is like crazy, because it's a bass amp. So you're not gonna blow this thing out of the water. And so just even like just being able to do stuff like this if I'm practicing. So what's super cool about this Bluetooth capability, it is super easy to hook up your phone or computer to this and play songs through here while you're practicing with it. And also what's cool is that the Bluetooth capability also goes with the headphone out. So let's say you don't want to play it through the speaker, you could mute it to go through the speaker, and it'll just go through the headphone out, which is super dope. So that means you can practice with it easy and not have to hook up a whole bunch of cords. Just like so simple, super simple. Now I'm not gonna lie, this amp is not cheap. I will say it's worth the money in my opinion, especially if you're someone who wants something that you can use at home, but also you can use on the gig and replace your pedals. I'm also gonna have this linked in the description below so you can check out all the specs on this amp that I didn't go over in the video today. So now that we have an overview of what this amp can do and all its functions, let's take a look at my Current Pedalboard and see if this amp's onboard effects can replace my pedal board. If any of you guys are interested in supporting this channel, feel free to check out my website where you can find tracks, products, and a whole lot of other things that will help support this channel and bring you more videos. All right, so here's my Current Pedalboard. First thing I got is my Shure GL XD wireless unit that I use as a tuner and also as just, you know, a wireless unit. And that's going to my Boss Super Octave. This is the OC3. I don't even think they make this one anymore. I think they make an OC5 or something like that now. But I usually just kind of have an octave on there. And then this is an old school one too, a Boss Super Chorus. It's just one I had and I've just been using. It's a nice little, you know, touch whenever I'm doing something kind of fun. And this is a Aguilar Tone Hammer preamp DI. Now I haven't been able to talk about this for a while. So I've been using this the past like little bit, probably month or two on the road. But this just came out. It's by Aguilar. It's the second version of their Tone Hammer pedal. And honestly, it is a beast. It has a drive on it and also is a DI. as well, DI out as well, and it has like some other functions in the back, which you'll see some more content from me on this later. But on here, I use this mainly for my preamp, but also that drive function to get some distortion when I need it, and also an EQ as well. So this is pretty much my whole setup when it comes to what I have on my board. I know some people's boards are a little bit more elaborate than this, but for most of the gigs that I'm playing, the pop, gospel type thing, this is pretty much exactly what I use all the time. So one of the coolest functions on here, and the reason why I say it could potentially replace a pedal board, is because of the Darkglass Suite software. If you don't know what that is, definitely go download it. It's really dope if you have any Darkglass products. But once you download it, what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn on your amp, which I'm gonna cut mine on real quick. Once it's on, then the software will recognize it on your computer, and you can see that all of your presets are on your computer. So the one thing I did notice with some of these presets and things is at first I was like, oh man, you can just change this to whatever effect you want, if it's a filter, whatever. No, but it's not that exactly. I don't think they've gotten to that point quite yet, but what it is that you can change and dial in the software or dial in the effects that are already on the amp itself. And so what's cool is the Darkglass makes some, distortions and things like that for bass and stuff that sound really, really great, and that's what they're really known for. And so you could dial those in or even try different ones. Effect preset 1, you can see on here, has an amp simulator, which is another really dope thing. It has IRs, so you can do amp simulations and different things like that. And you can look here on the IR manager, they have these different ones. I'm just gonna go to number 7 here, show you kind of how it works. So you have this cabinet that you can play under and add into any of your effects presets or things like that. And so you can go through and scroll through the different cabinets that they have and choose whichever amp cabinet that you want to use. And you can even change the position of the mic, which is really dope. If you want a mic on there, what type of mic, if you want to offset it, any type of way. And so all these different cabinets have different vibes and different things. These are just like the factory. You see how many cabinets this are? Like when I first started playing this amp, I had no idea that the amount of cabinet sims that I had on here. And dude, they sound amazing. Then the other thing that's really cool is that it has a guitar cab one too. So if you're a guitar player or something like that and you wanted to try to add a guitar cabinet, you could try a guitar cabinet. What's also cool is that it has artist cabs where you can check out certain ones that are, curated by certain artists that use Darkglass. But then you could create your own, which is really cool. So if you have any that you already have or any that you created, you could input those IRs into here and use them in your presets, which is crazy. Now I know I'm getting nerdy here, so people who don't know much about this may not be exciting you, but it's really exciting to me. Let's just say that. So now let's go back to our presets. As you can see, when you look at your presets, there's different effects and tones. So you got like a noise gate on this one right here, where you can adjust your noise gate and different things like that to whatever you want it to be. And then it has an octaver, which it could do as well. And when you select it, you can, change the settings and everything. And what's cool is that you can leave this set in your preset, so when you go to it, it's there. Like it's not gonna change like a pedal board. If you put it in a case and you have to make sure all the knobs are the same, it's all set and it's locked in. Now, another cool thing about this is you can see the routing of like, okay, input, and it's going through, this is where it's like the post DI out. And you can see where the line that it's taking to get to the cabinet itself. But then you can also see the pre-DI out. And it's just really cool how you can just see how it all works together. This is what I was saying that's really cool about this, because it's Darkglass. Let's say I'm going to one of my presets that has a distortion. This is where the secrets lie, okay? I've got some different pedals and different distortions and overdrives that Darkglass makes that I can use and put in my chain, which is sick. The more they build on this is gonna be even better, the more sounds and different things you can use. So let's see if we can replace all the pedals on my pedal board with just one preset on here. One thing is that my first pedal, that Shure GLXD pedal, when I'm not using it as a wireless unit, which this is not gonna have a wireless unit on this amp, I use it as a tuner and a mute. And what's really cool is that on the amp itself, it has a tuner and a mute when you use the tuner. So there's one. Next pedal, Octaver. All right, so we have an octave pedal on here. Let's turn it on. So now we've got this octave pedal, we got a nice blend. And then you have a super chorus, which I think this is where it won't be able to replace it exactly, because I don't think there is a chorus on here, or chorus effect on this amp, which I'm not expecting that from an amp. But you know, maybe, maybe one day it'll have it. But I could always just use the pedal, the single pedal, if I wanted to. Now, one of the last things is that it has a distortion on here, which is cool because that's going to replace what's coming out of my tone hammer. But what's awesome about this one is that you have choices of what tone distortion that you want, and it's all Darkglass stuff, and it sounds incredible. So it doesn't match and completely replace my pedal board exactly, but it got 3 out of the 4 pedals on here, which is pretty impressive for an amp. The only thing it didn't get was my chorus, but I could see that coming somewhere in the future with these amps. So now let's do an audio test to see what this amp's tones sound like. All right, so let's check out this octave to see what it sounds like. All right, so let's see. We've got a distortion here. So this is the Alpha Omicron? Probably say that wrong. So that was really cool. So now what's really cool is because you have these different types of Darkglass distortion. Let's try the micro tubes, see what that sounds like. All right, so let's check out the next one, the vintage one. Just go through real quick to all these. That was good, that's a good one. And Leo bass, this one's pretty much a tube preamp, so you can have a tube saturated tone on your amp, which is super dope. I didn't realize they had this on here. So this can also be used under the drive one as well. It's just like a tube saturation, like kind of like using a tube amp, which is cool. Let's see, it's got a little compressor on here too. Let's see what this compressor sounds like. I'm gonna cut this off. Let's turn this compressor on. That compressor actually sounds really good. It's really clean. So real quick, throughout this video, you probably see me using these headphones at different points. These headphones are from a company called Austrian Audio, and they just released these Bluetooth headphones that I've just been using on the road, and they have been super, super comfortable. So if you guys are interested, check them out in the description below. They'll be linked there so you can check out all the specs. All right, so you guys know what it is. Every single time I do these type of reviews, I try to find some way to use it live. So I'm going to be taking this amp with me on a tour date that I'm doing, this driving distance. So I'm going to throw this amp in the car and take it and see how it does live on the gig. All right, so we're back on the road with the family. Y'all remember?
That's right.
Y'all remember
That's
these guys?
right.
We just came from Nashville, and so we're still in the middle of tour right now. And so what I'm going to be doing today is taking this amp by itself, leaving my pedals in the bag, and just using an amp. Now, because since we've been on tour, it hasn't been like a lot of time for me to set all of my settings on the amp, because this amp has presets and things like that. So what I'm gonna do right now, the amp is over here, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna make some presets for tonight's show. And so it's gonna be I'm interested in how this is gonna work out. It already sounds great. I've played through it, in the direct out and all that kind of stuff, but I'm gonna try and go through and make some presets for tonight and see if I can use what I normally would with my pedal board on this amp. All right, so I am on my computer. I have it hooked up to the Infinity 500, and basically what I'm doing is making some presets for the concert tonight. I know this is very last minute to be doing, just because, I just forgot to do this earlier. So I'm making some patches on here through the Darkglass suite. Yeah, we'll see how it sounds. I'm gonna see if Anthony fires me as a bass player after this. Anthony, you think you're gonna fire me?
Why?
So Cam, what'd you think about the bass amp tonight?
Man, it sounded good. It's right on the stage, just the way I like it.
Just the way, even though it's only like a 210, I honestly felt like, man, I was really happy tonight. I don't usually have an amp when I play on this particular gig or, with this artist. So it was just really, really nice. What'd you think, Em? What'd you think about the amp?
Fantastic. Don't go anywhere without it.
Don't go anywhere. Emily, the thing is that when you have a low end on stage, it always just makes everybody lock in a completely different way. And so that's the reason why I always love having low end on the stage if I have a chance to do it. But I will say it was a ton of fun. And even our audio guy, front of house audio guy, was just like, man, it sounds pretty good. Sounds just like your DI. He said it sounds close to my DI. Maybe not just like it. Yeah, maybe not just like it. This is a really fun experiment, and I'm definitely probably going to see this amp in a little bit more use on some future videos, so be on the lookout. I want to give a huge thanks to Darkglass for sending this over for me to check out. This is a really dope amp, and honestly, before y'all start getting on my case about, oh, well, you just said you like it because they told me, I deny more emails about bass amps and things than you could probably count, because I want it to be something authentic that I actually like. And this was one that I actually saw and I was like, oh man. And then for some random reason, they reached out to me and I was like, oh wow, I actually been wanting to check out this amp. So just so you guys know, I'm really happy about it. I'm really stoked about this product being out. Now, if any of you guys are interested in this bass amp, it'll be linked in the description below. And also, if you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that bell so you're notified when the newest videos are uploaded. You'd be surprised how many viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So please, please, please consider subscribing. Now, if any of you are interested in supporting this channel, there's a couple of ways you can. You can click on any of my affiliate links in the description below, to where if you make a purchase through any of those links, this channel will get a kickback to bring you more videos. And also, you can check out my website and make a purchase to any of the products and items on there, and that will help bring more videos to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in some gear you haven't heard of before, check out this one right here.